first, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
We're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place.
President Trump announcing the U.S. is going to run Venezuela, at least for now. Good evening. I'm Cicely Porter. The U.S. carried out large-scale strikes in Venezuela and has captured its leader, Nicolas Maduro, which you can see in this photo next to me. You can see Maduro wearing a tracksuit and blindfolded on a plane. He has since arrived in New York and is due in federal court in Manhattan next week. Maduro and his wife have been indicted on charges that they were involved in a narco-terrorist conspiracy to flood the U.S. with drugs. Trump says the U.S. will run Venezuela until new leadership can take over. He's now sending a message to the international community.
Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen.
Trump is reviving the Monroe Doctrine, which dates back to 1823. It was President James Monroe's foreign policy position in the Western Hemisphere, and it became a warning to Europe to stay out. The president's revival is likely a message to China and Russia, which both sought strategic partnerships with Venezuela. And now the UN and China are expressing concern over the U.S. strikes in Venezuela. The UN saying it is deeply alarmed by the strikes and Maduro's arrest, adding it could constitute a violation of international law. China echoing the statement, saying it opposed of the operation, calling on the U.S. to stop what it calls the violation of sovereignty and security of other nations. But U.S. officials say the operation was justified to protect Americans from dangerous drugs. Following the capture, Venezuela's vice president is seemingly not on the same page as President Trump. According to international press outlets, Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is demanding the U.S. to free Maduro and his wife, calling Maduro the only president of Venezuela, and claimed the country's integrity was, quote, savagely attacked. But Trump previously suggested that she was on board with the U.S. takeover.
She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice.
The president adding that if Rodriguez does what the U.S. wants, there won't have to be U.S. troops on the ground. Now, many local government officials releasing statements on Maduro's capture. Indiana Republican Senator Todd Young taking to social media today, saying in part, I commend the bravery and professionalism of U.S. personnel who carried out a successful mission in Venezuela. This should be an opportunity to bring Maduro to justice for his many crimes and a day of new hope for the Venezuelan people. And Indiana Democratic Representative Frank Murvan releasing this statement. There is no question that Maduro is a bad actor, and I know firsthand the drastic harm that international drug cartels have caused individuals and communities throughout Northwest Indiana. He goes on to say, I believe that Congress must be consulted and included in any discussion involving this type of military or enforcement action. I am deeply concerned about the precedent set when this balance is ignored, and I look forward to Congress hearing directly from the administration. After Trump announced the U.S. will be running Venezuela temporarily, he will be tapping into its vast oil reserves and unleash its energy potential.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
It comes as Venezuela has pumped much less oil than it could have for decades, some of that due to U.S. sanctions. The country accounts for 1/5 of the world's oil reserves, but produces less than 1% of global exports. And across the country, people gathering in protests just hours after the U.S. strikes in Venezuela. Anti-war protesters gathering outside the White House today as speakers call for the U.S. to not get involved in another foreign war and for Congress to step in. U.S. officials have justified the intervention, saying drugs being trafficked through Venezuela with its aid of its government were killing Americans. And here at home, an emergency protest was held in downtown South Bend this afternoon. The Northern Indiana Democratic Socialists of America say the protest was in response to the U.S. bombings and threats made over the winter holidays. However, the protest was upgraded to an emergency protest after learning of the U.S. bombing raid in Venezuela and the capture of President Maduro.
Maduro, who is the current, or was the current leader of Venezuela, no one's defending what he has done, but that doesn't give us the right to go in there and kidnap him under the pretext of narco-terrorism.
The theme of the protest was no war in the new year. And tonight, strong reactions are being triggered in South Florida. Many Venezuelans living in Miami say the moment has been decades in the making, with the news bringing people together in a mixture of relief, emotion, and uncertainty about what comes next.
He gave me the life to witness it. So we are witnessing history today.
Seeing the collaboration, because it's not just Venezuelans that are here, it's not just Americans that are here. There's people from all over the world, really, that's really coming together for the liberation.
Those in Miami say they know that this is just the beginning, but for many, they say it feels like that this has been a step that they have been waiting for. Now, many are wondering if President Trump's next target could be the Mexican cartels, despite pushback from the country's president.
She's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico, and I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, 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 Mr. President. No, 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 please. So we have to do something.
Mexico's president says her government strongly condemns the overnight U.S. military action, saying the strikes breached the United Nations Charter.